Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Mostly Programming. My name is Vivek Garg and this is lesson 9 of learning Python scripting from scratch. In today's video, we are going to see the concept of slicing, negative indexing and string length. The scope for today's video is what is slicing in Python, the concept of negative indexing, string length and some example scripts. So let's get started. But before that, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that right now because it's free. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss an update from Mostly Programming. Do not forget that we come up with 3 videos every week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. So also follow us on Instagram, it is @mostlyprogramming. So let's get started with today's video. Slicing. Slicing in Python enables us to return a range of characters by using the slice syntax. For example, suppose we have a string hello world and we do not want to print the whole string, but we want just a slice of it, just a piece of it. That is, we want a substring. So if we want to print a substring, we use the concept of slicing. Here we specify the start index and the end index separated by a colon. This is basically the syntax of the slicing concept. We are going to see that with the help of an example. We are going to specify the starting index of the string and the end index of the string which we want to print. For example, we have x is equal to hello world, a string. Then if I'm going to print x and in the square brackets I have written 2 semicolon 6, that means 2 is the initial index from where I want to start my substring and 6 is the final index. When I'm going to run this statement, what would happen is the third character, the fourth character, the fifth character and the sixth character would be printed. That is the characters with index number 2, 3, 4 and 5. That means the substring that is passed in the slicing syntax is printed from the start index to the end index -1. For example, in this case, the second index character, the third index character, the fourth index character and the fifth index character, which is a white space, is printed. More about strings, I'm too lazy to type. Let us see it on the PyCharm itself. So here I'm taking a variable x which is equal to hello world. I'm just simply giving it a string. I'm simply giving it a string. Then I'm going to print the variable x, but not the whole string, from 2 till 6. That means the index number 2, 3, 4 and 5. That is 6 minus 1 is 5. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here we can see that LLO and a space is printed, but the space is not clearly visible because it is a white space. So what we are going to do here is we are going to give here a @ sign and then rerun the program. Now you can see that LLO and @ is printed. That means the third character, fourth character, fifth character and the sixth character is printed. I hope this is clear to you guys. The syntax is pretty simple. Variable name, square brackets, initial index, colon the final index. Right. So let us now take another example. What we are going to do here is I'm going to take a variable x, then I'm going to give it a value, some random string. Just I'm typing something on the keyboard and that's it. Then what I'm going to do is inside the print statement, writing the variable x, square brackets, and then I'm just simply writing the colon and the final index. In this case, what will happen? The initial index would be assumed to 0. Yes, when we do not give the initial index and simply skip it and write the colon and the final index, it is assumed to be 0. As you can see on the output as well, ALHDIFH is printed. That means 0 onwards till the 7th character, all the characters are printed. 7th character, that means 0 to index number 6, because we know that last index -1 characters are printed. Now I'm taking another example. I'm going to write A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, some random string, and then I'm going to do is I'm going to print the initial index that I want to start from, but here I'm not going to type or tell the Python interpreter the final index. Then it is going to assume it to be the last element, the last index of the string, as you can see on the output as well. I hope this is clear to you that whenever we skip either initial or final index, it is assumed to be either the first index or the last index, depending upon which index have we skipped. Now there is another very important concept here that I'm going to show you now. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm skipping both initial and final index, and after that I'm adding another semicolon. I'm adding another colon here, and then I'm going to write here the step size. That means what do I want to skip here, right? So as you can see, I have written here 2. Now when I will run this program, what happened is A, D, G, J, L is printed. That means right from the starting till the last element, last character, all elements are printed after skipping one each. Right after A, S is skipped and D is printed, then F is skipped, G is printed, then H is skipped, J is printed, then K is skipped and L is printed. That means that we can give it a step size according to our choice, but that how many elements do we want to skip in between. If I'm giving a 3 here, that means 2 elements would be skipped in between. A, F, J is printed, as you can see, after skipping S, D, G, H and K, L, and as there is no element after that, that means nothing would be printed. This is the syntax. Please note this down. In the print statement with the variable name and in the square brackets, I have written start index, colon end index, colon the step size. This is a very important concept in Python scripting language. Please note this down. It would be used so many times later in the course. Please pay attention to this. Okay, so now let us see another major important concept in Python, which is the concept of negative indexing. Let's go back to the presentation. We will see it there. So what basically is negative indexing? We have the same variable x as our example. There I have given to the variable hello world a string. Then I'm printing x, but this time I'm not passing the positive index, but I am passing the negative indices from -5 to -2. Now what does this negative indices mean? I'm going to tell you in a while now. Let's first run it and see what is the output. So let's see what is the output now. ORL is printed. That means the 8th, 9th, 10th character is printed. Let us see it diagrammatically to explain you in a little better way, because diagrams always help. We have the string hello world and it is in the variable x. Let us see the index numbers. We know that in a string initial character is placed at 0 index and +1 onwards. Then we have h at 0, d at 10, e at 1, l at 2, similarly all the other characters. Now what comes before 0? -1, right? So we know that -1 comes before 0. Now h is at 0. What is before h? The last element of the string, right? So we travel from all the way from h to the last element, which is d. Now its index is 10. Its positive index is 10. But what comes before 0? -1, right? That means d also has a negative index, which is -1. Then onwards -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. till the last element. I hope the concept is now clear to you that the first element is 0, and if we are taking the positive index, then plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 till the last, and if we are taking the negative indexes, then minus 1 is for the last element, and minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 keep incrementing, and you will get all the negative indices. I hope the concept of negative indices is clear to you now. Let us see this with the help of an example now. Let us go to PyCharm itself, and then we will write a simple example script for negative indices. So I have taken the same old variable x, then I am giving it some random string. Suppose my name is Vivek. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply print it, obviously a slice of it, but with the concept of negative index, not positive index this time. Instead we are going to use negative indices. So let us see now. Simply I will write here a print statement, right? So inside the print statement I will pass the negative indices, print, in the parenthesis I will write the variable name which is x, and inside the square brackets change it to -10 to -3, and e space is space vi is printed. You will see that v is not printed, but we included it in the range itself, -3, and -3 is the index of the v. Why is not that printed? Because recall the concept of slicing, and you will remember that the last element, that is the end index -1 character, is printed. So the same is here. The last element, that is the last index, the end index -1 characters are printed. I hope the concept is now clear to you guys. Let's go back to the presentation and see the last concept of today's video, which is the length of the string. Now a very simple function, len function, which is an inbuilt function in Python, is used to find the length of a string. It basically returns the number of characters in that particular string. The syntax is pretty simple, len, and in the parentheses we will write the name of the string. For example, I have a variable x, hello world, print length of the variable x, then 11 was the length, so it was printed. Let us see on the PyCharm. What I'm going to do here is simply write length of x, then you will see that the number of characters, including all the white spaces or any special characters, would be printed. When I'm going to run this, you will see 16 is printed. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 characters are there in total, including all the white spaces. So these are the total number, that is the total length of the string is printed. I hope the concept is now clear. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below, or you can even DM me on my social media accounts. Follow us on Instagram @mostlyprogramming. I will try to answer all your questions. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also share with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel, because your subscriptions give me motivation to make more such videos. Thank you very much for watching.